Okay, so my biggest apprehension and fear, I was a little concerned that when we first met that I would not have enough questions or be able to, was a little concerned that she might feel uncomfortable opening up or that I would have to feel her out too much.
Mine was probably that we weren't going to connect, that I wasn't going to click with you, and if I'm not comfortable with somebody, I won't open up, so I was afraid I wouldn't be able to trust you and do that.
I think I was afraid that I would get shy and fake and that I wouldn't open up because I just didn't want to do that if I was going to have a mentor.
I think I was concerned initially if I could come up with enough fun things to do. What if I drag them to something and they're annoyed by it?
Probably that it would be work for me, because a lot of times people underestimate me and then they treat me as a kid or they treat me as something I'm not, and then I have to work in order to either overcome that or be whatever God needs me to be. So I was worried that it'd be work.
Time for sure. Time because I'm stretched in so many areas between just life, grandkids, going to see my in-laws and stuff. So time. But Amy made it very easy because she was willing to be spontaneous, and we could call up, is this working for you? No, or it is. And so almost all our visits were yeah, I'm available now. So that turned out to not to be an issue at all, but I thought it was going to be.
Well, it wasn't awkward, but I felt really bad when I took you out too long. And we went on a trip. Where was it? Modesto. We went to a used bookstore in Modesto, and that trip took a little bit longer than I had anticipated. 5 hours or something?
Because it was an hour both ways, and I probably spent at least 2 hours down there.
Yeah, it was a long trip.
I don't have any.
Two, I think. First one is I found out my mentor was afraid of squirrels, and I don't know. I thought that was cute, but also funny because it's a squirrel. We were driving to Yosemite, and I fell asleep, and I was trying not to snore, and I think I woke up and coughed because I choked on my snore.
It's funny because I don't think I have any awkward moment because I got paired with Berkeley and I actually knew her before. And I think the both of us handle awkwardness very easily. But we're both individuals who can laugh at ourselves a lot. So I'm sure other people thought what we were doing was awkward at any given time. But, I don't really have any real awkward moment. I think it could be awkward starting. And it wasn't awkward our first meeting, but there was a lot of why did you do the program? Why did you do it? And since the expectation of just hanging out isn't, you can put a lot into it. You can make it to be whatever you need it to be.
First time. It's always hard when you first meet someone, because then you have the conversational, you have to figure out where you go and where you're compatible with your speech. So figuring out the speech patterns was awkward.
My most awkward moment was when, I went shopping with Amy, and she doesn't look like a 17-year-old. She actually looks older, and when she came out in a long dress and then the high heels I got her, she looked like she went from a young 20-year-old to a 30-year-old, boom, and I was like, oh no, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but.
What is the one tip I could give a mentor? Just being intentional about establishing the connection with the parents, figuring out the boundaries of that relationship, because you want to make sure that you are respectful of their family and their wishes. And in this case, it was not hard because I think the wishes in my heart lined up really well too.
It's okay to be yourself and just be, random. I remember that we got confetti eggs, and I had to get some random videos for my final media project, and so we cracked the confetti eggs and like blew them in the air and cracked them on our heads and like did a bunch of cool, really slow-mo videos, and I think that was my favorite moments and things I learned. I really enjoyed the mentorship program, and I would definitely do it again.
I think I would say to adults or mentors that it's totally, it's just like God, where you go into a situation thinking you're gonna learn something or do this one thing, and then it's completely upside down backwards. That's how I would describe the mentorship program, because I feel like I learned a lot about myself and about my mentee, and that was really helped me. I've just praying for someone like every day for this process and watching them grow and seeing all the beautiful things about them was like really informative to me, and it makes you like proud of them and love them, and so you're like, oh, I'm getting more out of this program. like as a mentor, I think you get more out of the program sometimes than the mentees. Expand, I guess, my sphere of like appreciation for someone else, and that's like not your family per se. It's like not your biological family, and to really give your heart a chance to swell for other people in the church who are right there. You might see them every week, but to go a little deeper with them.
The best thing I learned is that you can like choose friends. You can choose to be someone's friend, because sometimes relationships, you're like, I don't know, but you make a conscious choice to be someone's friend, and then you make the conscious choice to listen or to be like that. And so I really learned that. I remember getting in the car the first day, and Pam was like, so we're gonna be friends, and it was like, okay, we're friends.
And I took this home with me, and I really liked it. Was Amy is a writer. She writes all the time, and she, and I was expressing, I like to write, but where do you find the time and stuff? And she said, well, just keep a pad near you, or maybe like even near your bed, or one in your purse, and like when you get the one-liners, put the one-liners down. Just put those one-liners down, and maybe you'll end up using them, maybe you won't. And the one-liner I'm thinking of is when I was looking at Luke, my grandson's eyes, his blue eyes. They were like penetrating, and he stopped, and we locked for a moment. It was like we both locked, and like our souls locked for a moment. And it was almost like he had known me from times past. And I took time to write that down, and who knows, maybe I would have forgotten that moment had I not wrote that down. And that's kind of a fun thing, and I passed that on to my granddaughter too. I don't know if she is doing it. I don't know if it's because I said that, or she was like gonna be doing that kind of thing anyway, but that was a big thing to learn. I like learning that.
Me and my mentor went to Yosemite, and we had lunch on these rocks, like in the middle, almost in the middle of the river. Like it was kind of off to the side, but like you had to jump over rocks and other bits of water to get to it. It's just this really big flat rock, and then this squirrel wouldn't leave us alone. He kept trying to eat all of our food, and I ended up feeding it, and then it never left, and so we just had to leave.
My favorite one was going to Modesto, because it was just fun to have the car rides there and back to talk, and then the bookstore was really fun.
There are a lot of moments. It was fun buying tickets for Shenyang. That was interesting, and then it was fun going to that. It was a Saroyan theater thing. We got front seat, got to see the orchestra, got to look down on the orchestra and watch the composer, or not the composer, the conductor. Starts with the same letter. So yeah, that was fun. Don't know if it was my favorite, but it's the most prominent one that I'm thinking of right now.
That is a good moment. So we bought a really long, large mirror at Home Goods, because I bought my house like halfway through. It was a big one. Yeah. And so we stuffed it into my Nissan Cube. So we had to drive home with a mirror, literally, like, separating us. And she was like, I'm here.
And I had to like peek so she wouldn't crash into anything on the side that the mirror was on.
Yeah, that was fun.
I think it was all the in-between. Like, I mean, we did a lot of fun stuff, and we went, I feel like we went to a lot of events. But I think the most fun was just the in-between, like the driving to get there, and then like I had to go get this thing at Walgreens, and then we saw these confetti eggs, and we're like, well, let's get confetti eggs, and let's pop them on our heads, and let's make a video. Like, sort of the spontaneous stuff that came out of just the going about of life.
The best thing I like that I brought out of this was that when I see Amy at church now, she's a nice girl, you know, you see her at church, your acquaintance, hi, how are you? And there's pleasantries. But now it's like she's my little friend. I can, when I see her, it's like my soul goes, there's my little friend. And that is my favorite thing that I pulled away from the mentee program, is that I feel like I really did walk away with a new friend that I didn't have that before. We didn't have that kind of greeting in church. Not that it was bad beforehand, but it's richer now. And that's probably my favorite thing that I walked away with.